China is facing unprecedented social and economic challenges. An aging population, increasing pressure on the pension system, and high youth unemployment. Behind these issues lies a fundamental question. Are the solutions we propose based on sound logic and philosophical principles? How do we view intergenerational responsibility, fairness, and the social contract? These questions not only shape policy but touch on the ethical foundations of society itself. Let's start with the delayed retirement policy. At first glance, delaying retirement seems like an obvious solution to the pension crisis. More people working for longer, fewer years drawing from the pension, problem solved. But this reasoning hides a critical assumption, that older workers are willing and able to continue working, and that the labour market can provide enough jobs for them. The reality, however, is far more complicated. The logical paradox, the hidden risk behind delayed retirement, is that it may worsen youth unemployment. As older workers stay in the workforce longer, fewer positions become available for young people, creating a bottleneck in the job market. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a societal one. Logic tells us that if a policy solves one problem but creates another, it isn't a true solution, only a deferral. The tension between addressing pension pressures and exacerbating youth unemployment highlights a dilemma in balancing two equally important needs. Philosophical and ethical reflection. The problem of delayed retirement isn't just a labour market issue, it's a deeper philosophical question about fairness between generations. The pension system is fundamentally a social contract. Young workers pay into the system now, with the expectation that they will be supported when they retire. But with the demographic shift, especially due to the one-child policy reducing the labour force, the burden on younger generations grows heavier. They might begin to question whether this contract is fair or sustainable. This skepticism raises the issue of intergenerational justice. Philosophers like Thomas Pogge have explored the ethics of intergenerational responsibility, arguing that the duties between generations should not be one-sided. In the current system, resources are being redistributed from the younger generation to the older one. If young people face high unemployment, stagnant wages, and heavy social security contributions, they may lose faith in the pension system. If the younger generation disengages from the system, the entire structure could collapse, leading to social instability. And when the fundamental social contract breaks down, it's not just a financial issue, but an ethical crisis. Youth unemployment and economic logic. The high rate of youth unemployment is another key element in this discussion. Economically speaking, the labour market follows basic supply and demand principles. When older workers delay retirement and stay in their jobs longer, the demand for new workers decreases. This creates a vicious cycle where youth unemployment rises, leading to longer periods of joblessness and lower lifetime earnings. This not only impacts individuals, but has long-term consequences for the economy as a whole, as unemployed youth contribute less to the pension system, exacerbating the funding gap. Youth unemployment is not just an individual problem, it's a waste of societal productivity. When a society invests in educating and training young people, but they can't find jobs, their potential is wasted. The longer they remain unemployed, the more difficult it becomes for them to accumulate experience, reduce debt, or save for the future. The delayed retirement policy and high youth unemployment thus create a feedback loop that threatens the long-term sustainability of the pension system itself. Systemic inequality and trust. Beyond financial strain, China's pension system is characterized by stark regional and occupational inequalities. Urban residents, especially those working for state-owned enterprises, often enjoy more generous pension benefits, while rural workers and private sector employees receive much less. These disparities create deep social divisions and erode trust in the system. The pension system relies on trust. People must believe it is fair, transparent, and that it will be there when they need it. When one group feels shortchanged, trust breaks down, leading to a wider crisis of legitimacy. As sociologist Peter Drucker once said, the sustainability of any system depends on its social legitimacy. If people lose faith in the fairness of the pension system, its collapse is no longer a distant possibility, it becomes an immediate threat. A pension system, like any institution, can only function when people believe in its integrity and fairness. The logical and ethical challenges of reform. China's pension system is clearly in need of reform. But simply delaying retirement or increasing contributions won't address the deeper issues. Instead, we need to reconsider the design of the system through the lens of logic and ethics. From a logical perspective, the pension system must adapt to the changing dynamics of the labour market and demographic shifts. A more flexible, multi-tiered system, combining public pensions, corporate benefits and private savings, could distribute the burden more equitably and sustainably. It's not enough to just push the problem into the future by extending working years. We must rethink how pensions are funded, who contributes, and how benefits are distributed. Ethically, any reform must prioritise intergenerational fairness and societal welfare. Policies must be designed to ensure that different professions and regions receive equitable treatment. The government should consider the differing physical and mental demands of various jobs, allowing workers in physically demanding fields to retire earlier while encouraging flexibility for those in less strenuous occupations. At the same time, there must be greater transparency in how pension funds are managed to rebuild the public's trust. In conclusion, China's pension crisis goes beyond being a mere economic issue. It is a multifaceted challenge involving logic, ethics, and trust. By engaging in philosophical reflection and applying logical reasoning, we can better grasp the complexity of this issue and work toward comprehensive solutions. The task ahead involves more than just balancing the financial aspects. It requires rebuilding trust between generations, ensuring equitable resource distribution, and securing the long-term sustainability of the pension system. This raises a profound philosophical question. How can we preserve the stability and legitimacy of the social contract in a time of rapid demographic and economic change?